Happy New Year, Flint. Not yet. It's not Happy New Year yet.
You did it.
Well, if it's already New Year's Day, yay, Happy New Year. If not, like me, then we're almost there. But it's that time of the year, friends. Gonna do the same thing I did last year, where we're gonna take every game that we played this year and we're gonna rank them. Well, not you, me. I'm gonna rank them. Some of these, you're gonna kick my ass for. You'll see. You'll see where I rank some of these. Yeah. So real quick before we get started, friends. Last year, I said that we played 17 games, but that's not necessarily true because 6 of them I didn't actually play on the channel. So I played about 11 games last year. This year, however, we have started and completed 29 games. Now, I will not include games that I have not completed. So right now I'm thinking of 4 of them. Blasphemous, very excited to finish that game, but we haven't finished it yet. Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, we're very close to the end on that one. Tomb Raider, still. I couldn't add that one last year and I can't add it this year either. And then Sly Cooper, which we still have a ways to go with that one, but we'll jump back into that one eventually. So let's go and get started. All right, friends, we didn't have The Last of Us 2 this year, so what was the worst game that I played this year? I'd say probably the worst game I played this year, which wasn't even a really bad game, was Eyes, the horror game. It was okay. I mean, I don't feel a need to go back and play it. I think I paid like $2 for it. I don't really have much to say about it. It was just kind of meh. All right, so that was number 29. Number 28 on my list is Freddy Fish 5. This is a fun kids game, but that's really it. I did have fun dicking around with this game though. Kind of like Eyes, I don't really have much to say about it. It's just very stupid. All right, number 27 on my list. This is one of the games that I played on my dad's birthday, because it was one game that he enjoyed playing. And I'm sorry it's low on the list, Dad, but it's Hot Shots Golf 3. I played a lot of really, really, really good games this year, so something has to be really far down on the list, and that's it. Again, sorry, Dad. Number 26 was one of the very first games that I live streamed this year, because we started live streaming this year. We didn't really do that at all last year. And this game is Cat in the Hat. It's not a very good game. It's kind of a good time-wasting game. It's very repetitive. You go around, collect shit. When you collect enough shit, you can go to the next level. And then you collect shit in that level, and then you go to the next level, and you collect more shit. And it's not really fun collecting the shit, so overall the game is shit. Alright, moving on to number 25. This is the other game that I played on my dad's birthday. Sorry, Dad. This is a great game, but it's a very, very old arcade cabinet style game, and I played a lot of really, really good games this year, like I was saying. So this one is Mrs. Pac-Man. Now, I know I technically didn't finish this game, but I'm never gonna finish this game. So for what I played, I consider it, I finished it. So that's that. Number 24 on my list is another one of the first games that I live streamed on the channel, Madagascar. This game I find a lot more fun than Cat in the Hat. It's still not a great game. It's one of those, you know, movie versions of a game that doesn't quite fit with the movie, but it still can be fun at times, so that's why I put it up a little bit higher. Number 23 is the first Saturday live streaming game that I ever did, and that is PacMan World 3. PacMan World 2, shit. Now, this game is, in my opinion, better than Madagascar and Cat in the Hat, honestly combined. I still enjoy this game. I'd say the only part of the game that was kind of slow and boring to me was the water levels, but aside from that, I love the wood section, the snow section, the volcano section is pain in the ass, but it's still fun. I like the spooky section, even though I couldn't find the fucking cherry.
Where are the cherries?
And at number 22, this is, I guess, the most recent game that I finished. Took me a while to finish it because It wasn't the most interesting game, I'd say. It's kind of like a slice of life, but then you don't really know what's going on. I'm talking about Night in the Woods. Now, I definitely did enjoy some aspects of this game, and it was very cute at some parts. I enjoyed the band practicing and just kind of exploring the town. But the overall arching story, there's not really a drive for anything, which, I don't know, maybe that's the point. But, I don't know, it felt like it wanted to build up to something, but then it kept backing away. It was like, okay, let's go meet up with Bae again and do something with her. It's like, wait a minute, isn't there like a killer going around your town? Like, shouldn't you be trying to figure out who the killer is? No, let's go to a party. Like, I don't know. I definitely did enjoy parts of this game, but overall, there's a reason why I have it kind of far down on the list. And I did put it down for a while, so that's another reason why I have it a little bit farther down. But, I don't know, maybe it just wasn't my type of game. Moving on to number 21. This game is a sequel to a game that I played last year, and I did not enjoy the sequel as much as the original. That game is Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. There were definitely some levels I did enjoy, but to me, I felt like the charm of the first Spyro game was kind of taken out. I felt like the games were a lot more linear in a way. I liked how in the first game it was kind of just Spyro, you know? Here's Spyro and you gotta save the dragons. That's your goal, and it's just simple, it's straightforward, and that's what you do. And then the second game, it's like there's these other added characters and you gotta do tasks and you gotta get like upgrades and stuff, and maybe that's someone else's cup of tea, but I kind of liked the style of the original. You know, it's kind of like Crash Bandicoot series, because the original is very like, you know, just straightforward 3D platforming, and then the second and especially the third game tries to add extra aspects that kind of take away from what makes Crash Bandicoot Crash Bandicoot. And that's what I feel like kind of went along with the second Spyro game. Another game that wasn't quite my cup of tea, and people are gonna kick my ass for putting it at number 20, but this one is God of War 3. This game is weird to me because I really was enjoying it, maybe about halfway. I really liked it. It was chaos and like Kratos is just going freaking insane. I don't know, I felt like once you meet Pandora, and I'm not gonna spoil anything, but once you meet Pandora, I just wasn't a fan of her character. I honestly didn't think her voice actress was that great. I'm sorry. And I just didn't understand why a person like Kratos cared about her. Maybe I need to play the God of War side games to maybe understand the third game a little bit more. But I really didn't like the ending. I was kind of confused by the ending, and even when people tried to explain it to me, I just thought it was kind of like the ending was a waste. It was like, what was the point of doing any of that? That doesn't mean I didn't enjoy the game overall, but I'd rather put some of the other God of Wars up higher. So, as of the God of War games that I played this year, number 3 was my least favorite. All right, breaking out of the 20s and going into the teens. Number 19 is, it's kind of like God of War 3, where I was enjoying it, and then I kind of wasn't, and then I was enjoying it, and then I kind of wasn't. And then it kind of ended like Night in the Woods, where I was like, wait, what happened? Like, and I'm talking about Silent Hill 2 HD. Maybe I need to think about this one more. I can't tell if I like this game or not. I think I do. I liked how scary it was. It was really creepy. Had a very creepy atmosphere. I liked how there were multiple endings of the game. I could be confused because I played the sequel first. I need to play the first Silent Hill, which eventually we will. I don't know, friends. I don't know if I think I liked this game. That's probably why I ranked it here, because I did enjoy a good bit of it. I'm just so confused about this game. Maybe I just need to play the first game to really understand the second a good bit more. So that's probably my fault in that sense, but I have it here, number 19, there you go. All right, now we're starting to shift into games that I enjoyed a majority of. It had flaws, but I still enjoyed the game as a whole. This one at number 18 is the original Resident Evil. The reason why I have this one a little bit lower, even though I really enjoyed this game, one, I had to restart the game because I started as Chris and then I switched to Jill. Two, I put the game down for a little bit. But overall, I loved the puzzles in the mansion. I liked how there are two different ways that you can play the game, Chris and Jill. Chris's version is hard as shit, which might be kind of fun to go back and play now, but oh my god. I liked how there are different endings depending on the choices that you make in the game. For a PlayStation 1 game, I'm very, very impressed. And I'm really interested later on, I don't know if it'll be this year, maybe the year after, we will play the remake of the original Resident Evil, because I have it for GameCube. And I'm very, very excited to play that, because I've heard that overall is the best Resident Evil remake. Overall, for the first Resident Evil game ever, I'd say it's pretty solid. It's a pretty good game. It's just very, very challenging if you're not used to a game like that. Number 17 is a sequel to a game, and kind of like with Spyro 2, I didn't enjoy the sequel as much as the original, but I still really enjoyed this game. This is God of War 2. There were definitely parts of this game that I didn't enjoy as much as the original. To me, the original just had like a really good story from start to finish, and I liked the difficulty of the first game. Not saying that the second game isn't difficult, but I just really liked the challenge of the first game. I liked how in the second game, Kratos, I guess, isn't satisfied with what he did in the first and he needs more. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there's a betrayal that happens, and I liked that part of it because it gives him a new drive to go be a badass again. Yeah, overall, I definitely enjoyed this game more than the third game. I would still rank it in between the third and the first game. But we're not quite done with God of War. We got another game to get to in a little bit. So, number 16, you're gonna kick my ass! I don't even want to say it because you're gonna be so pissed at me for putting it all the way down at number 16. Because this is like basically Ocarina of Time to some people. And so let me explain myself a little bit. Because I put Metal Gear Solid 3 here. Now don't click away from the video. Let me explain a little bit. I think the biggest reason why I have it so low is mostly because of me. There were different aspects while I was playing through this game that impacted my perception of it. One was that I was in the middle of moving. I was in the process of moving to a brand new state, like 9 hours away with boyfriend, and I was in a time crunch, also trying to sell my apartment because I owned my previous apartment, and I was just flustered constantly while I was playing this game. You know, I played the game on hard and constantly failing, and I'm under a time crunch because of moving and all of that, and I really did that to myself. Another issue with my playthrough that I really did not like was I used the guide way too much. Now, the reason why I started using the guide was because I had never played a game with a guide, and I was like, okay, I have the guide, I might as well try a different approach to a gameplay, because I usually don't like to cheat at all, and I was like, what'll happen if I do cheat? And I hated that, so I'm never gonna do that again. But yeah, I think if I went back and played this game and also played a remade version of it that didn't have the awful camera controls, I think I would enjoy it a lot more. Now, I will say my favorite part about this game was the end battle. It took me for freaking ever to beat this guy, but it was one of the most unique boss battles I'd ever encountered. And it was so incredibly satisfying when I finally beat him. There were some other really great aspects of the game. The story was really good. I loved how it went to a different timeline, because the first two games follow Solid Snake's timeline, and then you go to Naked Snake's timeline, and it's cool to see that perspective. I've also been told that when I finish the series with the 5th game, then I'm going to appreciate the third game a lot more. So I think I really just need to give this game another run and not use a guide, not be in the middle of moving, and not play the game on hard. And I understand why so many people love this game, but I just didn't enjoy my personal playthrough of it, if that makes sense. And number 15 is gonna make more people upset because this won Game of the Year. This is a game that is highly rated by many people, and that is God of War 2018 or God of War 4. I did really, really enjoy this game. I think why I put it kind of lower is, one, I have really, really good games that I played this year higher up on the list. And two, I didn't feel a need to explore. I just kind of wanted to go and play the game. Unlike a few other games that I have higher on the list where I actually felt a need to explore and I wanted to explore because it felt fun, this game, it just didn't really do it for me. Now, the story is really, really good in this game, but I was a little bit confused, again, kind of like I was at the end of God of War 3, where I'm like, wait, what? What is going on? Some of the character decisions, I guess didn't understand, but it does go along with mythology, whether it's Greek mythology in the older games or Norse mythology in God of War 4. I think I just need to understand a little bit more about the mythology in that sense. So, but I love Kratos' transformation in this game. I mean, he doesn't do it like a full 180, but he's opening up a lot more. I love Atreus. He's a great character, aside from that whatever, like, hour-long section where he's being a pain in my fucking ass. Overall, I liked the puzzles a lot in this game. I loved Kratos' weapon, well, his, I guess, wife's weapon. The overarching world is really cool. I love how there's the gate, and you can go to different parts of it. I loved that section where you go into hell, basically. Really, really cool. Very, very unique game, and I'm excited for Ragnarok, which will be coming out soon, so I will be playing that when we get to that. But yeah, if I were to rank all of the God of War games that I've played so far, I would put 3 at the bottom, then 2, then 4, and then 1. To me, 1 is still the best God of War, and I might change my mind if I went back and replayed God of War 1 at some point. I need to play the other, like, side God of War games, because those apparently go along with the story, which is why I was kind of confused, especially in the third game, because you really, really needed to play those PSP games to understand parts of God of War 3. All right, number 14 is actually a game that came out this past year. I really enjoyed this game. It's not my favorite in the series, but this is Resident Evil 8. I love how it's a kind of continuation from the characters in the 7th game. I thought the story was really interesting. I wish that the story took place more in Lady Dimitrescu's castle, because that was a really cool setting. Once you leave the castle, I felt like it went down a little bit, but I really, really liked the dollhouse. It was really, really creepy. That was one of my favorite parts. Another part to me that kind of dipped was when you go into Heisenberg, that guy. Once you went into his area, I wasn't too crazy about it, but that area was very creepy. I screamed a lot in that area. But yeah, I mean, like a lot of people, Lady Dimitrescu was definitely like my favorite. And so once she's kind of out of the way, it's like, oh man. So yeah, I think I wasn't the only one in that sense. Now, I will say I did like the kind of twist ending. It kind of made me feel, though, a little like The Last of Us 2 in a sense, but it eventually switched and gave, I don't want to spoil, but it fixed itself in a way to make you not feel like your balls were ripped off. I appreciate that. But, yeah, again, not my favorite Resident Evil game, but definitely a very good one on the list. All right, moving on to number 13. This game, I'm going to include its DLC with it. This game is Little Nightmares. I really, really liked this game. The DLC to me was not as fun as the, original game, but it was still fun. I love the story. I love 6. The game is really creepy, but in a charming kind of way. This game had lots of really fun puzzles as well, which I always appreciate. I love puzzle games. But yeah, overall, I just really enjoyed this one. It wasn't very long game. It was just kind of short, sweet, scary, and charming. Number 12 is a sequel to a game, and I enjoyed this game a lot, but not as much as the first game. This one is Rise of the Tomb Raider. Now, I'm really excited to eventually play Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which we're gonna play, this new upcoming year. But, yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider, very, very fun. I like the snow tundra kind of area. I think maybe one reason why I put this game not quite higher is I didn't really like the villains. They, to me, kind of seem like the typical kind of cliche villains, but I did like the twist at the beginning with one of them. And, I love that Laura says fuck in this game.
It's a no fucking way.
How cool. Laura is a badass in this game. And one cool aspect about this game is that it's more open world. However, for me, kind of like with God of War 4, I didn't really feel a need to explore that much. I definitely appreciated that the tombs were more intricate in this game, but again, I didn't really feel the need to explore. I just kind of wanted to progress with the story. But yeah, I like the area that you're in and like the culture with the tribe and all of that. Very, very unique Tomb Raider game. All right, number 11. We're starting to get into like some of my favorite games from this year. Not to say that I didn't like any of the previous ones. I did like them, but now we're starting to get into like these games just get me hype. Number 11 is the original Metal Gear Solid. And I think the reason why I get so excited about this game is it like blew my expectations way past what I thought it would have done. So when I originally decided, hey, I'm gonna start the Metal Gear Solid series because it's a popular one, I didn't realize how popular it was and why it's popular. I thought it was almost like a Call of Duty game. Thought you were just, a soldier sneaking around in a box, going and defeating bad guys, and I didn't realize that there was this, like, huge story that would just continue on, and the first game really is pretty much a perfect story, in my opinion, from start to finish. I love the Psycho Mantis battle. I know everyone loves the Psycho Mantis battle in this game, but I think a lot of people already know about the Psycho Mantis battle, and I'm just an idiot. Or just very ignorant, and I didn't grow up with any of this stuff, so I didn't know what to expect. All I was told is, hey, you're gonna really like the Psycho Mantis battle, but no one told me anything, which I appreciate you. I can't believe that a PS1 game had that capability to do that. But really everything about that game is fun. It is very difficult at times, and I did rage a lot, but overall, I'm so glad that I started this series, and I really am thankful that the starting game of this series is so solid. So, yeah, number 11, Metal Gear Solid 1 on PS1.